Yo, what's up? It's your boy DJ. We are back once again for some more This Week at Destiny. This Week at Destiny, this week at Bungie. It's, as you can tell, it's been a while since we've been back here. So, we're going to go through the new patch because this is the ability sandboxes. And I already know it's been a while since I really uploaded anything on this channel. Keep it a stack with you. Season of Lost Bin, it should be kind of ass after the first 7 weeks. So, I'm just jumping into this. I'm still waiting until the 30th anniversary drops to start making content once again for this channel. It's not really anything to do, but we're gonna go through this TWAB right quick, and I gotta make sure I go through the TWAB from last week about the weapon changes that are coming into the game in about 2-3 weeks, maybe something like that. With that being said, we're just gonna jump right in. This week at Bungie. We take a look at every grain of salt in the ability sandbox. Hello, and welcome to another sandbox focused TWAB. If you're new around these parts, you may be asking, "What's a sandbox?" I do not care. No. All right, legends will rise. Hey all, Kevin Yanes here to give you a quick intro before I hand it off to the fellow designers Eric Smith and Mike Hamilton. A few TWABs ago, I gave a brief roadmap leading towards the 30th anniversary, Witch Queen, and beyond. The roadmap update will likely not happen for some time after this, as the team is heads down on more than a few initiatives. One of the initiatives you're going to hear about today is an adjustment to ability regeneration as a whole, and a refocus of Crucible gameplay on weapons. The team has touched almost every piece of the ability content with this release, and I'm fairly convinced that this will be our biggest balance patch ever. Alright, cool. That's very epic. Sorry about that. So I'm not gonna go through all this line of text because none of it like really matters, and there's a lot of promises that these guys make, and as someone that plays the game, plays Crucible a lot, I'd say at a like medium to high-ish level, it just seems like they don't care. So until we actually see how this stuff works out in the long run, we don't know. I take everything with a grain of salt. I might just be jaded, but that's just how it is. Okay, so here is where we're starting. Winds of Change, Flux Grenade. Increase the base cooldown from 82 to 182 seconds. That is minute 22 to about 3 minutes. 3 minutes? Yeah. I think it's 3 minutes 2 seconds. 60. Yeah, no, that's 3 minutes 2 seconds. Increase the attached detonation damage from 150 to 250. It's a one shot. The Flux Grenade is a one shot kill in PvP, but it's on a 3 minute cooldown. Okay. Increase the damage versus PvE combatants by 15% on top of base damage increase. Remove projectile tracking, add a small amount of aim assist, increase the throw speed by 117%, now sticks to all surfaces. Okay, so it doesn't have tracking on it, but it can one-shot you if you get hit with all of it. As you can see, the Flux Grenade now has a very long cooldown, but it is a one-shot kill in PvP if you manage to land it. It also hits harder in PvE. As a reminder, the Flux Grenade is currently only available to Hunter Arc Striders. Wait, Flux Grenade is the... I might be thinking of the Skiff Grenade, because I'm pretty sure the Flux Grenade is the fan. I don't know. I have to see. I don't play Hunter, so I don't remember. The Firebolt Grenade. Here's an example of the opposite direction. Firebolt Grenade, reduce cooldown from 82 to 64, reduce damage from 90 to 65, and increase its PvE damage against combatants by 50%. The Firebolt Grenade cooldown, especially at tier 10 discipline, and Firebolt Grenade has a low cooldown time, especially at tier 10 discipline, and it also has low damage output. These kinds of varied cooldowns and power output should make the game feel more dynamic and give more depth to build crafting. To make build crafting around cooldowns easier, You'll be able to see the base cooldown of your abilities when selecting them in the subclass screen. Oh, that's actually nice. I don't know why it wasn't like that in the first place, but that's nice. Okay. One on the character screen, you'll see the actual cooldown time of your abilities as they're affected by your equipped ability and armor stats. I don't understand why this wasn't a thing, but cool, I guess. The base cooldown time is actually the cooldown at the tier 3 of the relevant armor stat. Da, 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 da. We've been calling the varied armor. We've been calling this the variable ability cooldown system. We think it's the beginning of a big change for Destiny 2 Sandbox. Is the foundational change in preparation to move the light subclasses over to subclass 3.0 system that Stasis currently uses for the 30th anniversary. We're using it to change the cooldown of nearly every ability in the game. All right. Uh, I don't care. Into the fray. Uh-huh. So, super energy gain has been almost entirely passive. Your intellect stack dictates how quickly your super regenerates, with a few other elements like orbs of power, armor, and weapon perks, and defeating targets as active sources. I don't know why I said activity. This system worked well for a long time, but it has issues that have grown more obvious as the game has evolved and overall player skill, especially skill in evaluating how to play around their character's build, has increased. Oh, much like when Season of the Lost started, and you can literally, with Radiance dance machines, roll around 12 times and get your super in sub 12 seconds. Man, that's crazy. That's real. I don't understand how that went under the radar, but whatever. In high stake game modes like Trials of Osiris or Survival, where each life is precious, passive play becomes more common as players sit back and wait for their supers to close out a tied game. In general, we want the most efficient way to gain super energy to be actively engaging in combat. That doesn't mean you need to win every fight, but we want you to try. To get us closer to that goal, we're making a big change to the system. Super Generation will still have a passive component scaled by your intellect stack, but at a significantly reduced rate. On top of your passive regeneration, you will also gain super energy by dealing and taking damage from to or from opponents. Uh-huh. We would like to see how I would like to see how this works. Can we get a video footage of this? Because this seems kind of stupid. Here's a few key goals for this new system. PvE super uptime should be relatively unchanged from the live game, if not slightly higher. We are pretty happy with the frequent supers in most PvE content. I don't want to make big changes right now on that front. Everybody should get at least one super in a 6v6 match that goes to the score or time limit as long as they're engaged in regular combat. Expression of power through using your awesome space magic is the core of what makes Destiny special. We're not looking to change that. We think the cadence of supers in 6v6 modes is slightly too high, but we don't expect a dramatic change in super uptime for most players in playlists like Control or Iron Banner as a result of these changes. Supers should feel less frequent in 3v3 game modes than in the live game, where 2 supers per match is a fairly regular occurrence. Primary weapon play should have a noticeable benefit in super energy regeneration. Different supers should come online at different times in a given match, and your super of choice should have an impact on how quickly it regenerates. To reiterate what we mentioned above, I know I skipped a bunch of stuff, but I want to get to the actual balance of it, and there's just a lot of fluff in between this. To reiterate, we have mentioned what we mentioned above. I've always wanted to live in a world where nearly every super in the game shares the same cooldown, regardless of their efficiency in the game. Now that we have made the foundational change to differentiate cooldowns per individual ability, we want to address the super o'clock issues in Crucible, where 3 minutes into a match, 12 supers are simultaneously popped and chaos ensues. We also want to open up build crafting space where your super's cooldown time is an important element of your decision making, beyond how high you want your intellect stack to be. Now, as a Warlock main, that's very cool, But if I'm playing Void Warlock and I really don't care about the super, and I really want to go old school and chuck on a Nezarec Sins, what stops me from getting my super in like a minute and a half? Is you gotta remember, Nezarec Sins specifically regens your abilities quite a bit. Now, if they leave Nezarec Sin untouched, it's definitely gonna go up in the tier list of power because you know Shirai's Wrath exists, and it's a SMG that can get 100 range for just existing. So we shall see. Again, I'm taking all of that with a grain of salt. Ah, so we have the tier list of supers of how fast they should be regenerating. Oh, this should be fun. Tier 5, fastest regeneration. Well, Radiance. What? Bro, what? Why is Blade... Well, Blade Barrage I don't care about. Why is Silencing Squall tier 4? Why is it the second fastest regen in the game for supers? Bro, what? Alright, never mind. Never mind. Maybe I'm just biased. So tier 3, which is average, Shadow Shot, Burning Maul, Arc Staff, Nova Bomb, and Thunder Crash. That seems about right. Tier 2, second slowest, Golden Gun, Chaos Reach, Nova Warp, Storm Trance, Daybreak, and Sentinel Shield. That sounds about right. That should be where it is. And tier 1 slow... Oh, Spectral Blades. Oh, thank God. Fist of Havoc, Hammer of Soul, Glacial Quake, and Winter's Wrath. Cool. This here, this is stupid. This is stupid. Why is this a Whatever, man. Whatever. Taking it down a notch. Weapons are the primary way players will engage in combat. Non-super abilities accentuate or augment the combat, but should rarely solve an encounter by themselves. Abilities have clear strengths, weaknesses, and counterplay. Craft building is rewarding within the moment-to-moment combat loop of Destiny. We're not there yet. In general, ability uptime in Crucible is too high for the current potency, and it's difficult to understand when an opponent will regain an ability after using it. Huh. Some of that uptime comes from the passive cooldowns, but many of our outliers are also come from elements of build crafting system that have previously been unified in the ability energy returns between PvE and PvP. Within the 30th anniversary, we're taking it past at a significant number of these elements across subclass perks, armor bonds, exotic armor pieces. Oh, thank God, they're gonna nerf Nezarec Sin. They have to. There's no way that they don't. We have tuned PvP energy regeneration separately from the base PvE values, which we are not changing. Okay. Per our pillars, we want Buildcraft to be rewarding, but in its current state, the combinational nature of these perks and items lead to an unstable ability energy economy that diminishes weapon play for PvP. For this tuning pass, we focus primarily on items that feed into its self-perpetuating loops of ability energy. Here's a brief list of the effective items. Subclass neutral game perks. These perks have their ability energy regeneration reduced by roughly 50% in PvP. We've targeted perks that can either activate out of combat with a single button press, or those that will return amounts of ability energy that were significantly out of band. Out of band or out of hand? Whisper Shards. Arcweb Stormcaller, Rising Storm Stormcaller Warlock, Tectonic Traces Stormcaller Warlock, Electrostatic Stormcaller Warlock, Aftershock Striker Titan, Inertia Override. Oh, thank God they're nerfing it. Benevolent Dawn. Okay. Practice Makes Perfect. They're just nerfing Warlocks. Alright, whatever, it doesn't matter. Practice Makes Perfect needs to get nerfed anyway. It reduces your cooldown of Golden Gun by a significant amount for not really doing anything. That's fine. Fuck it. We'll play better. We'll use our guns. Subclass in super perks. These perks scale down energy returns as you get kills in your super, i.e. the first kill with the super returns more super energy than the third kill. These perks often result in supers being able to roam the map for much longer than a healthy. I didn't touch that, but whatever. Okay. The FBI is controlling my computer. These perks are often result in supers being able to roam around the map for much longer than is healthy for the game. And that means a victim can frequently die to an active super, respawn on the other side of the map, and be killed by the same super. We've rescaled the energy refund decay more aggressively in PvP so that the minimum energy refund is roughly twice as quickly. Reached roughly twice as quickly. No change has been made to the refund decay against PvE combatants. Everlasting Flame, that's Bottom Tree, Warlock Titan, and Trample, which I think is also Bottom Tree Striker Titan. Exotic Armor. Each exotic armor below has a custom tuning pass focused on their PvP energy. I read that. Focused on their ability energy return in PvP. Frosties no longer stack multiplicatively in PvP with other regeneration buffs. Is now an additive scalar. No changes in PvP. Anyway, that's not the problem, but cool. Harder Innermost Light. Ability regeneration scalar reduced by 50% in PvP. Rework so activating multiple abilities will now reliably result in multiple empowered stacks. The stack's behavior was previously a bug, but this seemed like a good opportunity to promote it to a feature. Controversial Hold. Duration of grenade regeneration buff no longer random between 1 and 4 seconds and is now has a fixed duration of 1.7. Reduce energy regeneration scalar by 50% in PvP. Previous average duration due to Wade was 1.7 seconds with a 1 second duration. I don't know who's using Controversial Hold in PvP, but stop that. You can literally use anything else. Doomfang, reduce super energy gain on activation. When an opposing player is killed with a void melee, which changes the PvE. Shinobu's Vow, reduce grenade energy gain on hits versus players by 66%. That was stupid. Crown Tempest, melee, grenade, melee, and super energy regeneration scalar buff reduced from 7 seconds to 4 seconds in PvP. That's fine. Stag, reduce class ability energy refund on shield break by 50%. That's fine. Armor mods. In general, we reduce energy returns from these armor mods by roughly 50% in PvP, depending on the number of copies you have slotted. Melee Kickstar, Grenade Kickstar, Utility Kickstar, Perpetuation, Bolstering Destination, Focus Strike, Bomber, Outreach, Dynamo, Distribution, Momentum Transfer, and Impact Induction. All of these are all stasis. So that's fine. It literally doesn't matter. As long as it's getting nerfed, that's what's important. Dang, this is long, but bro, I don't care. Anyway, stasis crystals. While forming stasis crystals now slow nearby enemies instead of freezing them. They can still freeze. Wait, it just. Oh, you can't get frozen by stasis walls anymore. You just get You just get slowed. Being slowed is still stupid, but man, that's. Oh, thank God you don't get frozen anymore. Increases slow freeze radius from 1.75 to 2. Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. Reduce crystal detonation damage versus players by 55%. Increase crystal detonation damage in PvE combatant versus PvE combatants by 60%. Increase the crystal detonation radius from 6. Don't do that. Don't, bro. We don't need. If they just said no longer freezes, right? Which is fine. You do not need to increase the range of this. Because what's going to happen, depending on the Shatterdive nerf, you can still get Shatterdove. Because it has increased range. Even if it's reduced damage by 55%, if someone's right next to the crystal, which, you know, it happens. Sometimes you'll be right next to the crystal anyway. It's still going to kill them. So what's the point of increasing the range of it? Even if you decrease the damage, this ability does not need more range. Stop it. Because they also increase the crystal detonation range as well. Or crystal detonation radius. That does not need. Again, we'll have to see how it looks in the game. But this I like how it was a good change, and then they did this. Whatever, dude. Hunter dodge no longer breaks projectile tracking. Alright. Very epic. In order to meet our goal of less ability spam in Crucible, we've reduced how often hunters can dodge. Gambler's dodge is getting the hit the hardest because it can completely circumvent melee ability cooldown times. It also completely changes the hunter's silhouette in PvP, making it very powerful. In addition, hunter dodges will no longer break projectile tracking, meaning it's less of a great get out of jail free card when a tracking rocket or other slow moving projectiles is flying towards you. Hunter dodge, marksman dodge, tier 10 mobility increased from 11 seconds to 14 seconds. I'm pretty sure that's what it was before. Base cooldown unchanged at 29. Gambler's dodge, man, they hit Gambler's dodge hard. 11 to 18 seconds. Base cooldown increased to 38. Base. Crazy. Revenant. You guessed it. You guessed it. You guessed it. The stasis crystal changes detailed earlier meant that Hunter Revenant Shatterdive will now almost never kill a full health guardian. Shatterdive may still kill if a hunter is using Whisper Fissures, Touch a Winner, and if the target is in the very center of the 6 crystals. But that has been incredibly rare in our playtesting. I promise you, the people that playtest this game don't know what they're doing. This statement here, I do not trust in the slightest. Not at all. Because if they actually playtest this, Shatterdive would not be as relevant a year later as it is now. And they're just like, oh, ho, ho, it's okay, stasis is fine. We will see, but this we shall see. That's all I have to say about that one. I don't trust any of the playtesters. I think we can all agree that Shatterdive was too powerful. We've tried a number of fixes of the past few releases, but the truth is that as long as Stasis Crystals froze players and Shatterdive shattered players, it was going to be too good. It was not all rain clouds and puddles for Shatterdive hunters. The increase in Stasis Crystal damage versus PvE combatants makes Shatterdive a great choice. It was a great choice in PvE anyway. If you weren't using it, you were wasting half your kit. But whatever, bro. On top of that, we're increasing Shatterdive damage versus frozen combatants by 100%. Have fun melting frozen monsters. Shatterdive much less lethal versus players due to Stasis Crystal changes. Much more lethal versus combatants due to Stasis Crystal changes. Increased shatter damage versus frozen PvE combatants by that does not need. Whatever. Increased Grim Harvest aspect. Increased fragment slots from 2 to 3. Why? Whatever, man. Let's see. Top Tree Arcstrider. Reduce the base cooldown duration. Hold on. This change to combination blow melee was made possible by our variable ability cooldown system. Previously, Top Tree Arcstriders were basically required to use Gambler's Dodge. With this melee tree, we hope that this change will make the ability viable even if you're not make this ability viable even if you're running Marksman Dodge. Combination cooldown. Reduce the base cooldown from 96 seconds to 15 seconds. That's not bad. I'm with the vibes. Bottom Tree Night Stalker. The Vanish the Smoke melee has low damage output but high utility. Our data shows that the subclass tree is struggling in PvP, so we've decided to increase how often the Pathfinder hunters can go invisible. Vanish the Smoke melee reduce cooldown from 96 seconds to 75 seconds. Okay. Shoulder Charge. All Shoulder Charges no longer one-shot players. Interesting. Sprint activation reduced from 1.5 to 1.25. Increased the range from 5.5 to 6.8. Target cone increased by 10%. Increased damage versus PvE combatants. Seismic Strike Shoulder Charge. Reduced AoE damage from 90 to 40. Now blinds enemies in area hit. That seems really stupid. Increased the cooldown to 90 seconds. Shield Bash Void. Reduced AoE. Increased cooldown. Cool. Hammer Strike, reduce direct impact from 170 to 120. Increase base cooldown from 82. The Solar Ring can still almost one-shot you, though. I don't agree that Seismic Strike should blind you, but well, again, I wish there was like video that we can see how it affects people instead of just reading it, because there's no way to tell how much it actually affects people until you're in the game. And there's no test server to test this stuff because, I don't know, they're stupid. Whatever, man. Towering Barricade, increase cooldown by 3 seconds. Rally Barricade, reduce cooldown by 5 seconds. That's fine. Diamond Lance, increase fragment slot from 1 to 3. Thank God. Now spawns Diamond Lance upon killing a PvE combatant with the stasis weapon, killing 3 players with the stasis weapon in a single life, killing an enemy with the stasis ability, shattering an enemy. Shiver Strike, increase Shiver Strike damage while in Glacial Quake by 50%. I don't know why they would do that, but it's only in Super, so it doesn't matter. Whisper Chains, increase damage resistance versus PvE combatants from 25 to 40%. I don't think it needed that change, but cool. Bottom Tree, Striker Titan, Knockout, Melee Lunge, Range, and melee damage bonus now deactivate after a melee hit. Oh, thank God, because Bottom Tree Striker Titan is very stupid. So, now that you don't get the bonus melee range and damage, because it stops after melee kills. So you can still 1v1 somebody, but you don't get the bonuses after you kill them with a melee hit, which is fine. Super energy gain from Fist of Havoc. Light attack now decays to a minimum. Yeah. We know that. Frontal Soul. Increase the base cooldown from 82 to 106. It's just fine. That's about a minute 46. Heavy Slam reduced from 8 meters to 6 meters. Bottom tree only. Warlock. Uncharged melee. Warlocks have been losing slap fights for way too long. Yes, up until now, Warlocks haven't been able to melee back-to-back as quickly as Titans and Hunters. No more. Man. Okay. Man, oh man. With the 30th anniversary, Warlocks will be able to melee just as quickly as Titans and Hunters. We're also removing the 1 meter range extension Warlocks receive to compensate. That's fine. We still think the idea of each class having unique qualities to their melee is interesting, but we want to do it in a way that won't cause one class to consistently lose slap fights. Maybe someday in the future. Uncharged melee reduced range from 5.5 meters to 4.5 meters. Now matches Hunter and Titan. Reduces suppression time after melee. Can now melee back to back at the same speed as Hunter and Titan. Thank God. Thank God. Jesus Christ. Finally. Anyway, Middle Tree Voidwalker. Reduce damage versus players. In our effort to do away with one-shot abilities that are frustrating to be hit by, Handheld Supernova is getting the shoulder charge treatment. That's right, Handheld Supernova no longer one-shots in PvP. But they just buffed it so that what was the point of buffing it in the first place? Because they literally, in the expansion, in the season launch, they just buffed Handheld Supernova. Whatever. Increased projectile range from 12 meters to 14 meters. Now pushes targets away from the Warlock on detonation. That would be cool, I guess. Reduced damage against players. Now deals 150 damage max. I'm pretty sure that's a kill. That's a kill either way. No, because you have 200 health. You don't. It leaves you at basically one tap. One handheld supernova and a headshot from a hand cannon kills, which is fine, I guess. Whatever. No warp does damage versus champion and bosses by 30%. Alright. Shadebinder. Winner's Wraith reduce shatter pulse damage versus enemy supers. Now must generally freeze and shatter all supers twice to eliminate. Penumbral Blast. Increase the proximity detonation radius at PvE to 100%. Bleak Watcher. While Bleak Watcher is equipped, all stasis grenade charge and at glacier grenade rate. Oh, that's the turn. Oh, they nerfed that. Alright, cool. That's fine. That they nerfed the turns, so you can't just keep stacking like a bajillion turns. Okay, that's our. Uh-huh. Long 12, but they definitely could have made this a lot. Because I'm not reading all this. Um, let's see. A lot of this stuff will. Now this is a good change. I don't know how I feel about this. This it does not kill, which is fine. Like I understand the reason not to have a bunch of abilities at one shot anymore. It's healthier for the game, in general. But I'm not sure why they nerfed it. Not nerfed it. They buffed it in the first place. If they had left it the way that it was and then brought this buff out or did this buff out first instead of the other one that we got at the start, I'd feel different about it, but it's fine. Bottom tree Starker Titan should 100% get nerfed. That shit's cracked. This shouldn't matter. This will be nice. The 3 seconds shouldn't matter that much. You when you're playing like not even 100 resilience on Titan, but like a good 90, you still get those barricades fairly quickly. So I don't think this change matters that much. This is fine. This will be interesting. Wait, no. What am I? This should be interesting. I don't know how this is gonna actually affect people, because it again it depends on how strong the blind is. Because if it's blind grenades, like from grenade launchers blind, it shouldn't matter too much. But if it's like a blind, like the blinding nade, depending on what area you get hit by it should matter. Again, you'd have to test it and see, but there's no test server, so there's no way for us to find out. This is okay. This should be interesting. Shatterdive, as long as it's getting nerfed, that's all that matters. Hunter dodge, yeah, no, this is gonna hurt a lot. Good, you deserve it. I really hope that this actually makes a difference. I promise you. Reduce ability regen, that's fine. That's what we need anyway. They didn't. No mention of them nerfing Stompies, which is more of a problem. We're doing Marchers. I don't understand why you'd be using Contraverse Hold in PvP, but I guess that's cool. This is fine. This is fine. This should get nerfed as like the best, one of the best PvP exotics for Warlock in Crucible. All this should get nerfed. This is stupid. The fact that this is second fastest regen ability in the game is very stupid. But you know, not the Blade Barrage, the Silencer Squall. Stupid. Other than that, I have nothing else to say. I'll come back and we'll go through the weapon changes, because there's a lot of stuff in the weapons change that that's pretty interesting. Like they buff Whisper and all that, and Cryosthesia. Let me know your thoughts. I'm very biased, and I'm taking all this with a grain of salt, because there's no way for us to test it, because there is no test server to test these things in. But we shall see. We shall see. I'll catch you guys when the 30th anniversary comes around, or sooner. Who knows? Def is like to win. Always by my side. So with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Deuces.